Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kriti. Today we are painting this soft watercolor peony. This exercise is great for understanding how to create soft petals using light washes, how to control midtones and gentle layering. I'm using cold press watercolor paper, a round brush and a limited palette of reds and greens to create this beautiful floral. All the details about the paper, the material, everything is in the description, so you can check that later. I'm starting with a very light sketch just to understand the placement of petals, and for florals we need a very simple structure so we know where the layers will be built. Now the first layer is very light, so either you can do like the light layer first on all the petals, or you start petal by petal. Now the important point to remember here is that you don't want to touch your petals which are beside each other, because if the petal is wet it's gonna spread into the next layer as well. So in watercolor the light comes from the paper, so it's important not to fill every petal with strong pigment. And also remember that we are taking care of your dark values, your midtones and your highlights. This is where the flower starts getting its form. So what we have to make sure that we are slowly introducing darker tones, especially near the base of the petal. Midtones are what creates depth. Not too much pigment can make your florals look heavy. Okay. So this is my not normal painting speed, so the video speed up into like 3x speed. I am carefully working petal by petal. What you have to remember is that while you're painting, observe your reference flower and make sure that the darkest color or area of your flower is actually the dark. Then you have a midtone and you have a highlight. Okay, you will also notice me I'm softening some of the edges using clean water, because hard edges everywhere can make petals look stiff instead of soft. So the soft transition help keep the water flower like delicate. Okay. there are two ways that you can work on this flower. So when you're working petal by petal, either you work wet on wet, which will help you naturally blend all the colors, or you can choose to work wet on dry, which gives you enough control over your pigments. It's your choice, it's an artist's choice what method you want to go. But any method you go, you just have to make sure that you are softening your edges and also making the difference, so segregating your darks, midtones and highlights. Very, very important. That is what will make your petals separate from each other and will keep it soft. Okay, the center usually has the very higher contrast. Okay, so in that area we'll be adding more pigment, and this flower has like a yellow center area, so we'll be adding that yellow color to the center. So while working on the leaf and the stem of the flower also, we want to follow the same thing. So we can start with the yellow color, then move on to your midtones and then the dark area. Okay, so make sure that we are following the light shadow concept very carefully. And if you don't know anything about how to preserve light, what is a midtone, what is a shadow, then please check out this tutorial, which helps you understanding the basic concepts of shadow, midtones and highlights, which will make your life eventually easier when you're working with watercolors. So watercolors are actually transparent medium, right? So while working with watercolor, we have to work from light to dark, unlike oils and acrylics where we are actually doing darker first and then lighter layers on top of it. Okay, very important. As a beginner, if you have missed to preserve the light, which I am showing in this particular subject as an example, do not worry, you can use a little bit of white gouache in the end to make your highlight area. But I just want to highlight this, it is not same as leaving your paper white. Okay, I will do another tutorial in which I will like paint only petal, okay, and will explain you what I was talking in terms of highlight, like how to maintain that paper white when you are painting a floral instead of using your white gouache in the end. Very important, it makes a huge difference. Okay, now with white gouache also, what I usually do is, after doing few highlights with the white gouache, I will go back to the floral and then dilute that area so that there are no hard edges. So what I'm gonna do is, I will be taking water and then softening those highlights that I have added using white color. Okay. So our peony flower is almost finished. This exercise is really helpful for understanding how to layer watercolor while keeping petals soft and light. If you would like to learn watercolor step by step in a more structured way, I also have a full watercolor course where we go deeper into techniques like layering, value control, and painting different subjects. You will find the link in the description below. And if you enjoy this tutorial, let me know in the comments what would you like me to paint next. Thanks for painting with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.